extraguru.com, the Brahmas for Success, and you're watching STT20 or Speak Test T20, and the subject is General Awareness. And today's ST is SBI Clerk Mains 08. So let's see the first or the most important 20 questions that we have in store in this SBI Clerk Mains 08. Now let's see the first question. The first question is a rather simple one. What is the CRR at present? The options are 4.5%, 5%, 4% and 3%. Well, the answer is 4%. Right now the CRR, like in the previous months as well, the CRR is 4%. Now what is a CRR? CRR stands for Cash Reserve Ratio, the share of NDTL that a scheduled commercial bank maintains with the RBI in cash. That particular share is called as a CRR. The CRR has no sort of a range, so the current value is treated as the value of CRR, that is 4% of NDTL. So that is the first part. CRR along with the SLR form the direct instruments that have a direct effect on the economy of a country. That is what is CRR or Cash Reserve Ratio. Let's proceed to the next slide. The functions of the lead bank are performed by. Now first of all, what is a lead bank? According to the 1969 committee, the Cargill committee, it was stated that in every district there would be a bank that would be assigned for pursuing and also pursuing different activities provided by the RBI or the government itself. That particular bank would be the flag bearer or would be the head bank of all the government activities in that particular district. Now that bank would be called as a lead bank. So if that is the case, that it is decided as per the purpose, it can't be SBI, because SBI could be a lead bank for a particular district, but other banks could be for different districts as well. RBI being a regulator and not a commercial bank or not a scheduled commercial bank would not fall under this particular bank. And then we have third bank, any bank. Now any bank has various options. It could be a cooperative, it could be a commercial, it could be a foreign Indian. So we have to take the option 4, a bank designed for this purpose. A bank that is designed for purviewing or for providing all the government schemes or supervising all the government schemes or government activities concerning the banks in a particular district. That would be under this option, that is option 4. So the answer for this particular would be option 4, that is a bank designed for this particular purpose. Let's proceed to the next question. Central cooperative banks work at. Now first of all, what is a cooperative bank? A cooperative bank was initially built for providing assistance to agriculture and allied activities. It has different types. It could be a central or a district cooperative, it could be a state cooperative bank. So here if we talk about the central cooperative, it is also known as a district cooperative bank. So the answer would be option 1, that is a district level. So it would perhaps work as per the district level. A cooperative bank has various regulators. It has parts of RBI supervision, also NABARD and also state government. But here the answer would be for a central cooperative bank, that would be a district level functioning. Let's proceed to the next question. Which one of the following statements is correct regarding increase in the CRR in India? Now let's gauge what is the effect of CRR in a bank and then in India. Now if the share amount that is deposited with the RBI increases, the amount of credit creation would decrease because the bank would have less deposits with itself. But if the CRR decreases, more amount would be given back or would be provided to the bank itself, thereby increasing the credit creations. So here if we talk about the first two options, we have dissimilarity. Number 1, we have it increases credit creation. Well, it could increase credit creation if the CRR would decrease, thereby providing more deposits for investing in the market. But since the CRR has been increased or shall increase, the amount with the bank would be lesser. Thereby the creation of credit would decrease. And now third, it does not affect. Well, it affects in the positive way or the negative way. And fourth, it denoted liberal monetary policy. Well, it is not liberal. Liberal would be when the CRR would decrease. So fourth option negated. And fifth, well, it's a misnomer. So we would have the option 2, that is it reduces credit creation, as less amount of deposit would be with the scheduled commercial bank, because they have to provide that particular extra amount to the RBI itself. So the answer would be option 2, it reduces credit creation. And let's proceed to the next question. The term plastic money applies to. Now keep in mind, we are not asking plastic currency, we are asking the term plastic money. any sort of amount that is paid that is paid via a particular card, that is not in the physical sense, or that is not in the typical currency, or in the typical currency notes. So here we have the first option, bank draft made of plastic coated paper. Perhaps that is not the answer. Second, currency notes impregnated with plastic thread. Well, that is also a plastic currency, but not plastic money. Third, currency notes printed in plastic coated paper. That is again plastic currency, not plastic money. So the answer is credit cards issued by the banks or debit cards issued by the banks. Those particular things are plastic money. So anything that is not paid in cash, that is paid via cards, debit cards, credit cards, that particular amount, that particular money would be called as a plastic money. That is option 4. Let's proceed to the next question. According to the WHO report, now what is the WHO? WHO is World Health Organization. Which city is most polluted? Well, the answer is Iran Zobol. It is in Kabul, it is in Tokyo, it is in Isfahan, or thank God it is in Delhi. So the answer is Zobol. So Delhi being the crux of the pollution debate in India, perhaps is not the polluted city. That is a sigh of relief. But Iran Zobol is perhaps the most polluted city in the entire world as per the WHO, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. Let's proceed to the next question. Economic liberalization in India started with. Now, why there was a need of economic liberalization? Now, in the early 1980s, the amount of corruption, the amount of restrictions on the foreign investment was humongous. There were restrictions even on the sale of cold drinks, even on the sale of imported goods. So the investment, or the FDI, was meager in the early 1980s, which took a very bad look in the early 1990s, when India had to repay its amount lent from the IMF itself. Then the government decided that they have to liberalize the economy, in which two very important people, Mr. Manmohan Singh and M. Narasimhan, the RBI, the former RBI governor, they decided to provide a policy that would liberalize the economy, thereby making higher FDIs, thereby devaluating their currency. That led to the term or the phenomena called as economic liberalization. Now, let's see if any of the features are concerned with that particular event. Number 1, substantial change in industrial licensing policy. Number 2, the convertibility of Indian rupee. Number 3, doing away with procedural formality for foreign investment. Number 4, significant reduction in tax rates. Well, the answer has to be the best answer. There could be two answers, but you have to take the best answer. Now, the first one, that is substantial changes in industrial licensing policy, that could be an answer. Number 2, the convertibility of rupee, well, that happened later, so that would not be an option. Number 3, doing away with procedural formalities for foreign direct investments. And number 4, significant reduction in tax rates. Well, the best answer would be the option 3, that is doing away with the procedural formalities for foreign direct investment. That led to the entire scenario. That would be the best possible answer of this question. Though option 1 is also a certainty, but the third option, being out of the 4 options, is the best answer. That is the answer for this particular question. Let's proceed to the next question. Vikram Sarabhai Space Center is at? Well, the answer is Thiruvananthapuram. So you have to also have an idea about different centers. For example, NBRI, the National Botanical Research Institute, that is in Lucknow. For example, ISRO, that is Bangalore. So in terms of the SBI Clerk mains, there could be static GK questions, and this is an example of a static GK question. Let's proceed to the next slide. According to the Economic Survey 2015-16, what percent of earning people is paying tax in India? Now, Economic Survey is a document presented by the Honorable Finance Minister before the Union Budget is presented. A day before, that is, it is presented. It basically forecasts or presents the current and the future state of the economy or of the Indian economy. So, as per that particular economic survey, the 5.5% of the Indian population is paying taxes. Now, if a country consists of maximum percentage of people paying taxes, that country is a progressive one. So, in a way, India is progressive in terms of its increase in the taxpayers. In order to gauge a country's growth, not development, that particular is gauged from the tax-paying population. Here we have 5.5% of the people are taxpayers in India right now, as per this particular survey. Let's proceed to the next question. Which is the first train in the country where all its coaches are braille embedded? Well, the answer is option 4, that is Mysuru Varanasi Express. Similarly, we have a Mahamana Express in which we had the first train that had the bio toilets as well. The Dibrugarh Rajdhani Express also the bio toilet. So we have 3 trains that are in use. We also have in the budget Humsafar. For example, that is an example of the trains that would have the AC coaches. We have different, for example, Tejas. We have different sort of trains that are in use. We have to keep a track about new trains being presented or being provided by the Indian Railways on the Indian Railway tracks. Let's proceed to the next question. Which INS attend, that is Indian Naval, as in the INS stands for the Indian Naval Ship, attended the closing ceremony of 27th India Indo Corps Park at Indonesia? Well, the answer is option 3, that is INS Karmuk. That is the answer for this particular question. It attended this particular event. Let's proceed to the next question. What is the name of New Zealand's new flag? Well, the answer is, you have already, if you are an aficionado of the logo on the New Zealand cricketers' t-shirts perhaps gives you a hint that has to be that is neither a golden firm, that is not a silver feather, that is not a golden feather or golden bird. It has to be between silver feather and silver fern. The answer is option 3, that is silver fern. Let's proceed to the next question. Justice R.M. Lodha committee associated with? Well, this was in news because of the spot fixing scandal in the IPL. The Supreme Court ordered this particular committee to be set up and provide guideline suggestions about how to recover, how to change the entire structuring of the IPL and also of the BCCI functioning. This was a rather controversial committee, and that committee was for number 1, IPL spot fixing. Earlier, Mudgal committee was also concerned with the IPL spot fixing, but of recent news, the R.M. Lodha committee was concerned with the IPL spot fixing. That is the answer of this particular question. Let's see the other question. Social activist Nirmala Ganjwani. Now, this is a question concerning the obituary section. Who passed away recently? He is from which state? Now, she was the deputy speaker in the Gujarat Assembly and she belonged to Gujarat. So, in the options we have the answer, that is option 2, Gujarat. Remember one special thing. If you have to have an edge over others in terms of current affairs, you have to have a daily habit of going through the newspapers. Now, in order to make it rather easy, we have provided you 3 special things. Number 1, we provide you the top headlines of the day every morning. Then we have the DBAT, that is the Daily Banking Awareness Test. After that, we also provide you the newspaper quiz in which we take 3 or 4 newspapers, for example, the Hindu, Business Standard, Indian Express, and we provide the questions from those headlines that have come in those highly esteemed 3 or 4 newspapers. So if you go through the exercise of these papers, the SBI Clerk mains would be a walk in the park, and this question would have been easy if you would have followed the newspaper quiz in particular. Let's proceed to the next question. What is India's projected GDP growth by Japanese financial services firm Nomura for 2016-2017? Well, the answer is 7.8%. Again, various times in the SBI PO, SBI Clerk, or the coming IPS PO Clerk examinations, they ask for the GDP forecast by different organizations. It could be from RBI, it could be from CSO, it could be from IMF, World Bank, UNDP, UNCTAD. So you have to keep a track about the different GDP forecast by different agencies, by different organizations. So this is an example of those of one of those several forecasts given by agencies. Here we are discussing about Nomura, and Nomura has predicted that India's GDP would grow by 7.8% in the coming year to 16-17. Let's see the next question. Which largest overseas subsidiaries of SBI has launched payment to online trade or non-trade transactions between the Nepal and India? Well, the answer is Nepal SBI Bank. That bank has perhaps launched a payment to online trade and non-trade transactions with India through its parent bank, that is State Bank of India. Let's see the other question. Again, now this question is from Books and Authors, and this book wasn't in news right now, but it is a very famous book, and this book was written by Mr. Nelson Mandela. So any famous personalities, go through the famous personalities which could be in news. The questions could come from their books as well. For example, Raghuram Rajan is in news because of the controversial statements by Subramanian Swamy, and also of the coming monetary policy review. So there could be a question that fault lines is written by, well, the answer is Raghuram Govindarajan. There could be also questions from Subramanian Swamy as well because of his controversy. So keep in mind, the controversial questions don't come. But if that particular person, if that particular event is taking place, there could be a question concerning books, concerning their activities, concerning their achievements. So you have to ignore the controversy and the gossip, but you have to keep a check about what are in the controversial domain, because the questions could be from them. It does not have to be that controversial question, but there could be different questions from that particular personality or that particular event. So here, because Nelson Mandela was in news because of his statue being provided to by South Africa to different nations, perhaps the question has come. Long Walk to Freedom is written by Mr. Nelson Mandela, a very interesting book. If any of your bibliophiles perhaps should go through this particular book. Let's see the other question. Ashoka Chakra is awarded for. Now it is awarded for the most conspicuous bravery of self-sacrifice on land, air or sea, but not in the presence of enemy. So we have different awards: Akirti Chakra, Ashok Chakra. For example, in the war, the highest award is the Paramvir Chakra. But in terms of if the enemy is not present, then the highest award is the Ashok Chakra. Let's see the other question. How many villages Maharashtra government has declared drought? Now, various people must have an understanding that the IPL had to be shifted from Mumbai or Pune perhaps to other states because of the drought problem. Because of this, Amir Khan also started the Pani Foundation. Also, the government, the Maharashtra government headed by Devendra Fadnavis also provided the drinking water program. So the drought problem is a severe problem in the states. So you have to also keep a check about the state issues as well. For example, in Uttar Pradesh, there could be Lucknow. Lucknow is very important because Lucknow topped in the list of the smart cities, the second list of smart cities. So you have to also keep a look about state issues as well that could be of national significance. This is of national significance because 29,000 villages were affected by this particular drought. We hope that other states do not falter like this, and they understand the lessons. They take the lessons from this particular humongous national calamity and perhaps go forward with a sustainable water management in the coming years. Then we have recently which bank appointed, again a question from appointment, Sanjeev Mishra as non-executive chairman? Well, the answer is Axis Bank. So if a paper is concerning the SBI or the banking domain, you have to have an idea about the banking awareness. Now this is a question of banking awareness in which they are asking that which bank has appointed Sanjeev Mishra as the non-executive chairman? Well, the answer is Axis Bank. With this, we come to an end to our discussion on the top 20 questions in the SBI Clerk Main 08. Do comment with the constructive manner in our comment section on the YouTube channel. That is www.youtube.com/c/Mahindra Guru videos. We publish the competition booster in a day's time. Go through that particular booster and you would find various headlines of essence in the coming examinations. Also, we've launched the Mahindra Guru app, the one-stop solution on your smartphone. Download that thing as soon as possible to have the most updated knowledge about current affairs. With this, we come to an end. Your success is our success.